Check, check. Asking Coach Shaheen to check his mic.
Check, check.
Ooh. Sounds very fancy.
We got it.
Hello, folks at home who are watching on YouTube. We'll be on in just a moment. Can't see me right now, but this is a Dan K Show production from a guy who nearly spilled his coffee.
Ready?
Good morning, hockey fans. Welcome back into Chesapeake, Virginia's beautiful chilled ice pond sports complex. The Dan K Show, day 2, underway. But first, we have to go back to the USPHL premier prime time matchup. That's what we had last night. And this man to my left, usually this is my left-hand man. This is Montfrere from Another Mayor. This is Monconsigliere. Nope, today it's this guy. A man so clean, they called him Shaheen. Coach Sammy, how's it feeling right now? Big dub last night in the shootout to kick it off.
No, it feels great. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, our guys are, you know, they kind of feel at the top right now. You know, had a rough weekend to start the season off, but you know, for them to battle back like they did yesterday was a great sign for us.
It's a great sign, and what's a great sign is that Lucas is here because it means that we're on the air. It means that things are working. and I got to introduce you now. I have to at least introduce him, and he's got to be able to be a part of the conversation. Lucas, welcome into the booth.
Thanks, Dan. This is good. We got everything set up this morning. It went a lot smoother than yesterday. Everybody knows that first run through is always a little bit tough. We had some great games yesterday, not just the ones that we were on, but we had great competition all day long. We got some good ones to look forward to again today. There are some teams that aren't quite here yet. We're excited to see them tomorrow, but what a game last night. Can't stop talking about it.
Lucas can't stop talking about it so much that he had to leave his DJing gig in the only black shirt here with the buttons undone on the top. This guy, if you have a wedding, a birthday party, call up Lucas Jones's DJing. But let's get back to hockey. I'm not going to talk. I'm sorry, Lucas.
You know
I
what?
apologize. You forgot to put your jacket on.
I forgot to put my jacket
You're on
on,
the
but the
air.
other thing, too, is that I had to make room for all of this incredible gear to get us live. I didn't have room for a second shirt.
You know what I
Ran
have
out of
room for? Conversation about the Motor City Gamblers. I wore my Gamblers attire today. I'm going to be dealing cards at the local casino in about 6 hours when we're done calling hockey games today. But until then, Coach Shaheen, can you talk to me? How do you continually find ridiculously skilled defensemen? Because I'd like to know, because in case I want to start up my own squad one day, I just need to know the trick to the trade. Your defensemen, you guys score from the blue line like no one else.
We do, and you know, it's nothing that I do. It's the guys that come into the building, and you know, it's guys that come in and they trust the process, and they trust us as a coaching staff and as an organization to get them to ultimately where they want to be, which is college hockey.
Now, you come in with Coach Mccrimmon, and he is one of the beautiest beauties of all time.
He is.
This is a guy who I got a chance to meet 7 years ago at an outdoor game at Clark Park between Dan Vasquez's Detroit Fighting Irish and his Motor City Hockey Club. And you look at what he's done for not just hockey in that community, but the community as a whole in Detroit, Michigan. Talk about Jason Mccrimmon, just a guy who's on the NHL watch list nationwide. This is a big name you get to work with.
Yeah, and you know, it's been incredible for me and you know the rest of the coaching staff as well. And you know what he does in the community is you can't measure it against anybody else. And you know his act of you know caring for everybody is so huge. And you know he takes the same energy to us as he does to the kids in Detroit. And you know everything that he does for his foundation as well is, you know, for me, I'm just lucky that I'm able to be a part of it.
Now, a part of a pretty solid team right now. You look at the performance of Luke Anderson last night. I know he didn't get the Star of the Game award, but you look at that save in overtime. I got to imagine you're on the edge of your seat already.
Yep.
OT, point-blank range, Anderson gets the glove to it. At that point, do you feel like we've got to win this thing? Is that where you're at?
Yeah, it's just being able to tie that game up 4-4 was huge, and for him to stand tall like he did, and Luke, he's a young guy, and everything that he's done so far, every way that he's proved himself during practice and training camp, leading up to these games, it's everybody feels comfortable with him in net, and everything that he's doing is exactly what we want out of a goaltender, and the way that he stood tall yesterday in that overtime was it was huge for us, and the guys rallied around him, and I know everybody wanted to get that first win for him.
Yeah, and right now, you always look at a team, you go through the rebrand, you get to the Gamblers brand here. You're starting up with your new squad as you move over to Motor City. What are the goals right now? I mean, it's always so hard to say at this level what a goal is outside of getting guys to the next level, right? Mm-hmm. But throughout this season, what are your guys' hopes as you go through this weekend and beyond with Motor City trying to get this team going?
Yeah, so, the start is just competing. We keep saying that, and it sounds like a broken record, but, a lot of guys have to change their games. A lot of guys came from AAA hockey last year in Detroit, and, for us, the compete level here in the USPHL is much higher than it is in AAA, and the physicality is much more. So, they have to come in and they have to get that edge to their game. Yep. And, that's what we're working on right now. We're not really focused on wins and losses at this point. At some point we are going to be focused on that. But through the first 10 games, we just want to get our guys to play the right way and, play the style that we're looking for.
Yeah, and Lucas, it's just had to make an announcement. Lucas has quit his DJing and event emceeing business and has now he's taken on his new role as local campaign manager, Lucas Jones. I love the look. Lucas, how's your candidate doing?
How am I supposed to be the shadow host of the show if I'm not dressed in
as
all
a shadow?
Black? What's funny is I was like, what? The black doesn't look good on camera. I put my suit jacket and I went, right. Brought the black suit jacket as well.
You brought a black suit jacket with the black shirt, and you look like you could write Johnny Cash's next hit single.
I could. To be fair, this is the suit that I brought for a later event in Pueblo, Colorado with the Pueblo Bulls. I forgot that we were going one suit day. That's on me. That's another demerit. I'm really racking up demerits on this trip.
I got a butterfly bow tie, a blackjack suit. Things are going. Before we let Coach get back to his day, you have a question for Coach Shaheen?
I think the only question I've got is what is next in your eyes, right? Obviously, you're focusing on the showcase, right? And you go one game at a time. That's the generic answer. I know you got more than a generic answer in there, though. Is there something after this showcase that you've got your heart set on as a team and as a coach?
I don't think it really changes, right? I don't think anything changes for us. It's just, again, the compete. And, that's what we're really focused on. But, I want these guys to enjoy learning how to win. Not only win, hockey games, but win in life, and that's the biggest thing for us is really grooming these guys to be able to be, the best versions of them. And, if we're able to do that, I think it's, we're accomplishing a lot this year.
The Motor City Gamblers coming to a rink near you with a buzzing group right now. The wagon was rolling last night for the Motor City Gamblers, a big-time shootout win. 4-5 in the shootout as well. I've never seen a team go to so many defensemen in a moment where they need a goal. I love watching this squad play. Love what Sammy's got going on. Watch out for Motor City. Do you have any notes for Tristan Jensen watching at home as he gets ready for his Battle Creek Colonels season? Head coach and owner of the Battle Creek Colonels out there. Is this going to be a rivalry between you two now? Because we have been on the golf course and we have played before.
Yeah, I think it is a rivalry that's going to be coming. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And Tristan, he talks a lot, which is good, right? And you got to love the energy. But for us, it's going to be a rivalry. It's going to be fun every time we play them. And it's one of those things where we have to rise to those occasions and be able to really kind of keep his mouth quiet. Is probably the best part to put it.
I do have to say, by the way, your guys' logo, the lion.
Yeah.
That I don't know what his ab workout is.
Oh yeah.
But if you guys could send me what that lion
absolutely.
Has like an 18-pack on that logo.
Yeah.
That is a lot of abdominals. Dan K, one abdominal. That's it. Just one large abdominal. And that's because I enjoy bread.
You're still working off all that bread you learned how to make.
I would be really handsome in a 1930s rom-com. Oh, super handsome. Not today.
We just need to both be dock workers in like the 1910s and 20s. That would be it.
I don't think I have the strength.
My lion does. My lion does.
The Lion does.
Coach Shaheen, thank you so
very
much for joining us. Go get ready for a
Thank
game
you.
here. Win
I
another one
appreciate
today.
you guys.
Brian, why don't you hop on with us here? We got to fill in until Brad Jones gets going. We're going to bring on Brian Linder, the voice of the Carolina Junior Hurricanes, a guy well known throughout the Southeast here, Lucas. Why don't you pop that collar? Let me help you out.
Thank you.
Let me help you out.
I do everything else on the show.
I got you. I can be in charge of
help
suits.
me out.
I
Thank you.
am the travel director of the show and in charge of suits. Brian, we've got a big outdoor game coming up in Carolina, November 18th. We're going to be putting together all the bells and whistles. We're going to be getting ready to go. But before we get to the Carolina Cup, talk to me about the Carolina Junior Hurricanes this season, what you're expecting from the boys, what this team looks like, as Hampton Roads, it sounds like, just won the shootout right behind us.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, and we've all been around long enough, we understand that on paper and what actually happens on the ice are two different things. On paper, it looks like a really good team.
Yep.
You have the elite squad. It's a little bit of a younger squad. But then again, that's really what your elite programs are for. Bring those kids in, get them into the swing of junior hockey, because just like you guys were just talking about, you have to build that program.
Yeah.
And then you have our premier squad, which is a lot of our elite guys from last year, but also a lot of new guys brought in. And it'll just be interesting to see how the boys all meld together, how they go from there. Obviously, you have Carolina and Charlotte, and now Carolina and Columbia really somewhat in a rivalry because they're all about 3 hours apart.
Yep.
It'll just be interesting how it goes, and then you take it to the outdoor game in November, which, if I remember correctly, is like the 18th, 19th.
November 18th, outside in Carolina.
At Truist Park, where the Charlotte Knights minor league baseball team plays.
Isn't it Truist Park Field Stadium? Didn't they name it 3 times? Because I called it Truist Park. Somebody told me it was Truist Field. Another person told me it was Truist Stadium. Then I was told it was Truist Field Stadium.
Be Truist Field. It might be Truist Park at Truist Field in Truist Stadium.
The sign on I-77 coming down says Truist Park.
I'm going with Truist Park then. We're going to have that one at Truist Park. You're going to be able to watch as Carolina, the Junior Canes, take on the Charlotte Rush in the race for the Cup. We're working on a pretty cool little checkered flag that'll be waving for the winning team at the end of each game. Big stuff to come there. Before we bring now Jonesy's over here. See, he big leagues us, right?
Like, Jonesy's just sitting there giving us the ugly eye.
Hey, it's me, Brad Jones. It's my event, so I can just wait here for the shootout to get done, even though I told you I'll be there at noon.
It's 10
rounds
rounds
in the shootout. We'll break that down after this, but let's big league him for a second. Let's keep him waiting. Let's not let him on the air yet. So as you come to this event here, you get to call hockey around the league right now. What matchup today that you got should folks be watching on Hockey TV that you're looking forward to? What's your schedule look like today?
So I've got 4 games today.
Whew.
Yeah. That's actually, for me, that's a light weekend. I've actually done, in previous showcases, 26 games in 3 days. So I've got 4 games a day at most. That's not a bad schedule. The biggest thing to look at is you've got obviously most of the Southeast teams.
Yep.
You got most of the Florida teams and a couple of the Midwest teams. Is just seeing not really any one game that I can say I'm looking at, but just seeing how the different teams pair up with each other.
Yep.
Because like you have teams like Motor City who in past years weren't as good, but then they come in now and they're playing great hockey. So it's just seeing how these pairings work out is the biggest thing that I enjoy seeing.
It's exciting to watch this weekend. We're going to have to bring on Brad Jones now because he runs the event, and he'll kick us out of here, Brian.
Yeah, you got to keep
a lot of Brian
we got to
today.
keep Brad happy.
If you don't keep Brad happy, I'll tell you what, he's been bragging about his Lululemon pants all weekend long. I'm tired of hearing about his Lululemons. He's like, have you seen my Lululemon pants? And I'm like, Brad, no one needs to talk about Lululemon pants as much as you're talking about Lululemon pants.
I'm a little scared about the thought of Brad in Lululemon.
Those are Lululemons. He's rocking the Lululemons, and I think they look great. I'm a fan as well.
He looks very comfortable.
He does look great. And I said, but you have to stop showing off. Some of us are built like 1930s handsome guys, okay? And it takes a while to really get there, you know? So
and
we
then
don't
you
have
got guys
the
like me that are built like brick walls.
6'6", this guy. Too tall, too big, makes me look short. I don't like it, but we do. Bunch of hockey to call today. Hockey TV. Brian Linder will be on the call all day long, all weekend long. Hockey TV. If you're not already subscribed, how are you watching us? So go subscribe. If you haven't already, get the Hockey TV live from the USPHL South Showcase, the mecca of hockey this weekend.
Absolutely.
Brad Jones, bring your Lululemons. Come on, let's talk. 10-round shootout. He's coming on. 7-round shootout. I don't know numbers. 7-round shootout. Brad Jones coming in. Last time we sat in this chair, we had the most watched segment in the history of Hockey TV. I want you to know that.
Really? All right.
Last time we sat together in these seats, Lucas said 0 words as you and I talked pool math for 2 consecutive hours on the most watched segment in the history of Hockey TV. We brought you back because we need a ratings boost.
Did either of us get the pool math right?
I did.
Okay.
Well, no, because we argued about, you were telling me, I forget the team that was out. You were telling me somebody was out, and I told you they were still in, and then they almost made it. While
We were
on the
basically
air.
waiting for the Fresno goal differential, and they kept scoring.
He got the championship right. I think.
Right.
Okay.
I think you won overall.
I spent most of my time
Makes
as a
sense.
human easel, just kind of holding up.
He did not speak the entire time. Sat here
I actually took a nap halfway through.
for 2 hours behind the board as Brad and I went off. But Brad, first of all, top-notch event yet again.
Thank you.
Every
Thank
time we come into this building, for the folks at home who don't know about the Hampton Roads Whalers organization, if you don't, you're probably living in a bubble or under a rock somewhere. The amount of success this organization's had. This event, how does it all come together? You guys working with the Norfolk Admirals, you guys run that, you run the Hampton Roads Whalers, you run the youth programs, you're running this building, you guys are renting U-Hauls out the back. Tell me about what you're doing here.
Yeah, I mean, this is our 3rd showcase, 4th event if you count nationals in 2020. So there's a lot that goes into these events, but the nice part is we've done it before, so the template's there, and you just got to piece it together and try to improve on it. We definitely set a bar at nationals in 2020 to up the event across the whole league, and we wanted to make sure we did that again this year for the showcase. So.
Yeah, I mean, the fried dough would have been delicious, but other than that,
We'll talk to Chef Troy.
Chef Troy will do.
Yeah.
Chef Troy's mad at us right now.
Yeah.
I do want to tell you that. So we might have done a coffee review. And I gave the coffee a 7.7, which on the coffee scale would put it in top 5 coffees of all time.
But it's not number 1.
And Chef Troy was unhappy about it.
I think he was looking
if we
for
were
his
ranking
name.
burgers.
He's
he'd be
competitive.
number
He's a
one.
hockey dad. He's a Navy guy. He wants to be number 1.
I will tell you this. I told Sam Shaheen from Motor City to go get a chicken sandwich yesterday from Chef Troy, and he said, wow.
Oh, I've never had a bad meal over there.
Never. I saw that chicken sandwich. That thing's like this. We got Coach Gratz walking through again. Look at this. Gratz, Mccrimmon. Let's get him into a
Tuber.
room. Let's
It's
see
Tubi
what
in there, too.
happens. Let's put Philip Kuba in there when he shows up. I think Gratz wins every time.
Tubes used to
As
throw
Jason walks by, I
hands,
think
too.
Jason wins every time, too. You or Gratz? You or Gratz?
Oh, he ain't
Great
ready
answer.
to give it up, though. He ain't
Good
giving it
answer.
up.
Good answer.
We'll see what Tube says. He threw some hands in the show for
That's
a
what
while.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of guys here. Like, you look at this. Talk about the coaching staffs. That
We
are
could have
down
a
here
fight
right
club.
now. That's what I'm saying.
Coaching
We
staff
could
fight
live,
club.
We could live. First rule about Fight Club: can't
Yeah.
talk about Fight Club. We
We'll
joked
go
around.
behind the rink and sort it out.
Weigh in on this. We joke around as we go around the country. Dan K boxes a hockey coach, and it's we try to figure out who I would last in the ring with the shortest amount of time, and I think it's Gratz.
It very well could be Gratz.
Gratz feels like he's good in the stand-up. Like it feels like that's I'm going to be in trouble.
I mean, just pure strength. You're in
Pure
trouble.
strength.
I feel like other coaches.
Well, of course, we're not talking about
It has nothing to do with
strength.
stance. It's
As my voice
one
cracks,
shot
we're
off
not
the draw
talking
and,
strength.
and
the
Dan's
problem,
down.
I think the problem really is that other coaches would humor you. They'd kind of let you
Just
get a
bounce
couple
around.
in, and Gratz would just kind of wait until you got too close.
Done.
And just
Not
just
too
done.
close.
Dan's
Gratz would
going night-night.
Yeah, be a nice nap though. I probably
It would
get.
be a great nap.
Honestly, I could use some sleep. But let's talk about this team this year. What do you want to start? Premier or Elite? Where are we starting?
It's up to you. It's your
Let's
show.
start. That's my show. This is what people say to me, and I never understand it. Let's start in the Premier, okay? I want to talk a little bit about some of the returning guys this season. Tell me who's back. Tell me who you guys are looking forward to this year. Obviously now, with you working with Norfolk, you're less involved. We're so used to behind the bench.
Oh, yeah.
The only
It's
man ever to
fourth
win
year
a
now.
Coach of the Year and Broadcaster of the Year in the same season. Talk to me about what you're seeing from this squad this year at the Premier side with the guys coming back.
Yeah, so Spencer Johnston, Brennan Kelly up front, two of our returners from last year's team, John Rangel on defense, and he's wearing the C for us this year. So, we expect big things out of them. It's really to set the tone for expectation and culture for the Whalers. There's a handful of guys that have moved up from the elite team as well. Wyatt Tubert being one of them here. Just trying to look down the list. Delano Savitsky, Matthias Stobie, he's hurt, so he's not playing. So a handful of guys like that. But just trying to settle into expectations. We had a decent opening weekend against Carolina. We split last week. We split first 2 weekends. Wasn't overly happy with our game. We got a shutout last night, and we're trying to learn, I guess, is the best way to figure out the effort that it takes to compete every single night. That's been lapsed, and that's not good enough by our standards. And Coach Tuber's going to keep hammering on them until they get it right. So I think you see with Johnny and Brennan Kelly and Rangel, you see guys pressing, trying to do too much, being kind of the guys this year, where they gotta play their game and let that be their leadership instead of trying to do everything. And I think that's where we're kind of gapped right now. They've got to let their play do the talking, stop trying to do too much.
How much pressure comes with being a Hampton Roads Whaler, right? You look at the Monkoviches, the Wizard of Osmondson, the Monk Man. You talk about Yo DJ, that's my DJ. You talk about Watto's World with Kyle Watson. By the way, worst. Liverpool, atrocious. Kyle, I hope you're watching right now. If not, we will clip this. We'll throw it up. Liverpool, atrocious. Down with the Reds. Let's go, Everton.
I don't know anything about soccer.
You don't need to know anything. All you need to know is that Watto's wrong on that. Watto was a great hockey player.
Watto, big Formula One guy, too. Loves his Formula
The
One.
Formula I don't know if I've gotten into yet. I don't know if I've gotten into the Formula it's
I'm starting to get there.
It's so much for me, man. I got a lot of hockey to work.
It is cutthroat, I'll tell you that.
It is. Like, everyone's mad at each other all the time. Like, ELE for me. I'm living like the ELE world. But what I want to talk about here, Jeremy Dwar comes in at the deep position this year. Talk a little about him. I liked what I saw from him so far. What are you guys trying to grow here with a couple of these defensemen this season? Yeah,
Jeremy, was one of the top targets in the offseason. We're excited to have him here. He's a big body. He moves well. He's got good poise with the puck. Obviously his first game last night's already got schools talking to him. He's a 20-year-old, and that's what we want is, him to get those offers and end up with that commit at the end of the year. As a program, we want to win games and compete for championships. But getting the guys to school is the ultimate goal, and he's one of the age-outs this year that are looking for those opportunities, and he made good first impression on the coaches last night. So hopefully that continues throughout the weekend, and he's got lots of offers before the year's over, and he's got a decision to make. So.
I also skipped over the question that I asked him before, by the way. Did you notice that?
Yeah, you just abandoned it.
Professional. I didn't mean to abandon it. But no, you talk about coming to the Hampton Roads Whalers organization, right? Like, and you talk about you guys in the Charlotte rush to us. So you've always been the Yankees and the Red Sox. And you look at what Richmond's done over the last 5-6 years, and they've become like that Rays team that's just always involved too in this. Like, you guys are the AL East out here. Then you've got Potomac, and you've got Carolina. Carolina's like the Toronto Blue Jays of it all. And like this division, like you see, it just keeps getting better, and nobody falls off the wagon. Can you talk about just trying to live up to those names on the rafters, trying to live up to those banners, and what these guys go through as they walk in the door and what they're expected? What's expected?
Yeah, internally we got a lot of banners in the rafters. We expect to win games and win championships, and we've got knocked out first round the last 2 years. No one's happy about that, so we're all competitive and want to get back to the top of that mountain. But it kind of started with us going on a run of championships, and then Charlotte, got into the party, and now Richmond's doing it too. We've created a juggernaut in our division, and it's raised not only the level of our division, but it's forced our opponents to raise their level as well. To compete with the South, with the Rockets finally kind of breaking that strand of the South winning both championships nonstop. Yeah. So it's forced everyone to look in the mirror and get better. And with all of the teams in the South and the Florida divisions, we push each other to get better and raise the bar every single year.
It's so funny down here for the folks at home who don't like the behind the scenes. It's so competitive. It's so cutthroat. And then we're buddies with all of them. So it's just like, so everyone's always like, forget these guys. I hate the Whalers. I hate the Rush. And we're always just like, we love you guys. This is a great time. And it's so fun to watch, though, because it makes the game fun on the ice.
We're
when
competitors.
it gets on the ice, man, you guys are trying to go for it. And Lucas, what do you got? I don't want to just step on you the whole time.
No, I think one of the things that we talked about when we started this season, we kind of did our way too early predictions, was that idea that it's not that the Southeast is not getting better, it's that everyone else is getting better. And partially, I think a lot of it is because You guys were beating him for so long.
You force people to raise their game.
But you raise the competition level by being your best all the time, right? And that's something that I think you guys do so well. Talk about I think as the level of competition has increased, has recruitment. Have you felt that in the recruitment game as well? Has there been more competition when it comes to getting those players?
Oh, I mean, recruiting's always competitive, and there's multiple facets to it now. I mean, one, the expansion in the league, there's more teams, right? So there's more spots available. Yeah. The player pool is smaller, so the same guy that might have had 2 or 3 options might have 8 to 10 options now, and everyone's trying to cut each other off at the knee, so to speak. And then you got tier 2 with the camps. I think it's a 70-man protector list in the NCDC. You get 200 guys at main camps in the North American League, so guys are pushing for the tier 2 level, and you kind of got to wait that process out as they're going trying to play tier 2, and you never want to stop anyone from doing that, right? So it's a game of patience, and you gotta put results, whether it's your commitments and your wins and your championships, and ultimately get the best players you can.
Can we talk about Evan Miles real quick before because you talk about guys, you talk about getting to tier 2, you talk about him out there at the Null right now, like. First of all, one of my favorite players to ever watch. Like, this is a guy who I watch. He somehow
love his mom more.
Mom's more the MVP. But you look at Evan, like, it's like I've never seen anybody get hit more than him in hockey. Get back up and still score all. Like, he's gone from on the ice to in the back of the net quicker than anybody in the game. He's just got a compete level that's never quit. We talk about him and the success.
Well, I mean, he's a water bug, but he's a prime example of what we tell all of our players. You want to come here, you want to develop, you're going to be treated like a pro, and you're going to be given the tools to get better. And if you get the opportunity at tier 2, go.
Yeah.
We're never going to hold you back. And he was a kid that was a 2-year elite kid, came back for his 3rd year on the premier team, was the leading scorer after 10 games, got the call up to El Paso in the North American League. Stuck his foot in the ground, and we haven't seen him since. He's still in El Paso now this year for his 2nd year there, and continuing to push forward. And if guys don't get that tier 2 look, then we're going to work to get you to college hockey. That's advance you one way or the other. It's either tier 2 or college. That's where we're trying to put you. So
look what you guys did with Utica, right? Yeah. You look at the squad.
Utica Whalers.
Utica. Oh man, talk about that squad right now. Not only do they go up, and this, I mean, they're unbeatable. They're unbeatable. You talk about the Wizard of Oz.
Utica's going D1.
I know, because basically, I mean, do you guys get a cut is the question that I have for you. Do you guys get a cut for Utica going D1?
And it's you take guys that have learned how to compete and win, and that's what Coach Heenan's looking for is those winners and those competitors, and they've translated that over. I mean, even Oz was the college hockey rookie of the year his freshman year, though. Mock's tearing it up. Regan had a great year. Dixon set school records in net. So I think he's might be the only one not returning for the kind of the COVID 5th year option. I know Oz, Monk, Rakowski's back. Regan's obviously back. So there's 4 or 5 guys, and I know they're pushing hard this year. And you look at kind of the learn to play to pro model we have here on the USPHL team. We expect Oz and Monk to get a look at the Admirals when the season's over. We want to see them, they want to play pro, and we want to see them come up and be successful.
I expect them to be here, and if they're not, I'll be at the front door knocking on it, wondering why they don't have a
Where
sign.
Are they at? Yeah.
I'm gonna sign up to be their agent, actually, Lucas. Let's get them on the dial. Don't tell Jonesy. We're gonna call them up, and we're gonna get the agency going. Dan K. Show, Player Protective Services agency.
Player
guys.
Protective
Services.
I don't know.
Am I the
what do we call an
part?
agent?
I am
like
not
the show
Ballers
qualified
on HBO. It'd be like The Rock in that show.
I am not qualified to be an agent, apparently, because I don't even know what it's called.
Well, I mean, and why wouldn't they want to come back here too? Because the reason that you big leagued us was to watch the Hampton Roads Whalers in a shootout. You almost couldn't hear the second question we asked Brian Linder because of how loud the cheering was behind glass, behind closed doors. You got kids running around in Hampton Roads jerseys. Even the restaurant with Chef Troy, we had people it looked like come in last night just for food and then leave, not even affiliated with hockey.
Yeah.
I mean, is it the work that you guys have put into creating a culture at this rink with the teams that are involved? I think is probably one of the best in the area, if not the league. It's just incredible what you've done.
Well, we appreciate it. I mean, we try to set an expectation, and it's kind of like we said nationals, and the way we ran nationals is kind of kick-started the league and setting standards for whoever hosts it and hoping to build on it. So it's kind of like we talked about the South and Florida divisions pushing each other on the ice to get better. It's the same in showcases, national tournaments. How do we get better as a league when we run these events and do the best for the players, which are ultimately our customers?
Yeah, and you look at it, I mean, what I've been doing throughout the year, it's the history lesson of just watching guys like yourselves who we were talking to 7 years ago, all with the dream in mind of what that Nationals looked like.
I still remember the elite team in the Premier Championship chirping that man over to you right there.
That was absolutely one of the best moments in show history. Is the entire squad as Hampton Roads is about to win the cup? Chant. What was the chant?
It was just
Lucas, and that's what it's all about. I mean, we had this vision, right? You guys, Pat Cavanaugh, who had a vision with Norfolk, with yourself and the crew here, and put that together. Brought in great minds like Weston DeWitt to create content around it. You see the glow up of the marketing, the glow up of what you guys have done for the hockey atmosphere here in Norfolk. And now you talk about where we've gotten to, where this league can go. It's exciting to see for the parents at home watching, for the people at home watching, that there is an absolute dedication to getting better.
No,
and that's what we're all trying to do.
Absolutely.
And it's guys like you who are on the horse with us. We got the whip. We're like, let's go.
Chugging
let's
along.
go.
Right?
Chugging
Slugging
along. Down the back stretch. I just saw Coach Smuls walk by here. Premier matchup. We're on the call at 2 p.m. today. Hampton Roads Whalers. Columbia Infantry. We got. I'm guessing Columbia.
That's a stupid question.
What a stupid question.
We gotta.
I had to check. You never know. I'm a media guy.
We gotta look in the mirror after last night's game, and I expect our guys to respond and put together a much better effort this afternoon and come home with 2 points.
That's what you got to do.
That's
if he did, the Mad Hatter's right here. We got a Mad Hatter game tonight as well. Come on. Oh, yeah, I try. You know, I'm dealing blackjack tonight at 8 in case anybody wants to hit the table and hit a heater.
Well, new casino's being built right now in Portsmouth, the Rivers Casino. It's coming in.
I'm just trying to get employed.
That'd be your new pit boss jacket.
That's
right there, yeah.
You got to make that gas money somehow.
Yeah.
When we were traveling around, we're driving to Colorado.
Yeah, I can't imagine the Dan K Show travel budget right now with gas prices.
It's not the best.
You should have seen it 2 months ago.
As the travel director, I figured it out. Okay. The one thing I didn't figure out is there's some weather, some blustery weather heading to my new home in Florida the day I get back from Colorado.
You know, Fiona blowing up the Atlantic there. It's
careful
pretty windy
down
out there today. It's nice. It dropped about 20 degrees. That cold front that came behind it. It's
Do you understand
still
this
in
is
the
the
70s, but
coldest weather I've hit bow tie alert. We got a bow tie alert. That's how you dress for a game, gentlemen. That's a 2G performance right there.
And
That's
just
two
the
Gs.
head nod too.
That's one apple. Bow ties bring you goals. I think that's the rule.
never
How
heard
many
that
goals
one
do you
before,
have?
but yeah.
My zillions. my favorite. You see my Chell record. My favorite thing about Brad Jones is you will somewhat appease me when I'm horrible at my job.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing.
He gives nothing back, and it makes the joke hit better. It makes it hit better because when it misses, just the disappointment in his eyes. It's just the disappointment meter. We should have one behind us that's just like
Going up
just
and down.
all game long.
We'll see if I can get it as a graphic on the screen the next time we come down. Just, a little more disappointed.
A little more. He's down right now. He's not happy with us. All right, so before we let you go, talk to the folks at home. Why should they be choosing Hampton Roads? Why should they be playing for the Whalers? Why is it where's your love come from for this organization, your passion for this whole community of hockey, the Norfolk Admirals, the Hampton Roads Whalers, all the way down to the youth, to the U-Haul trucks outside, to Chef Troy and the most incredible hockey kitchen on the planet. You will not get a better restaurant experience in a rink anywhere in the world. I guarantee it. I will be stealing more seasoning before I leave. If I'm allowed to after my coffee.
They might just give you some. We'll see.
I hope so. I'm going to go Mission Impossible in the back.
Yeah.
But tell me about the experience here. Sell the folks at home, like, why Hampton Roads? Why this whole area?
No, I mean you're going to be treated like a pro. You're going to expect to carry yourself like a pro, and you're going to get better and you develop. It's the way we conduct and carry ourselves, the expectations we have of ourselves to win championships and advance guys. And we had a great coaching staff with Colton Tubert, first-round NHL draft pick. Bobby Davis played 15 years of pro hockey. He was a USHL D1 guy, so you got from the coaching staff up to the management, the facilities, everything's going to be top notch.
Tubert, Grattan.
That might be a good scrap.
That's an understatement.
I'm not going against Tubes. I
Have
got
you
to take
seen
my
the
boy.
facial hair on
It's kind of
Tubes
like
right now?
your stupid question to Columbia or Hampton, who you're picking. I'm going with Tubes.
Again, as the media guy, if
Yeah.
you said Columbia, we got ourselves a
Yeah.
story right there. We're popping that on the internet right away.
Yeah, we still have to ask the questions, even though the answers are pucks in the back of the net. Got to roll all four
Get pucks
lines.
out, get pucks deep.
Get pucks out, get pucks
Yeah.
deep.
Pucks deep.
and you got to take it to him.
Got to take it to him. The leading point getter in the USPHL nation right now, walking